This is Coogan Cassis for Rifle TV in association with Macklin's Gym, Marbella. We're in an unnamed location. I won't say where we are, will we? No.
Sacramento, California.
Sacramento, California. With me, I've got world title challenger, Tyson Fury. How are you?
I'm alright. Epically okay, I suppose. Monday morning. Hard session. Feel alright, you know, I feel better this Monday than I felt in a long few Mondays because I didn't have any sex on the weekend. Therefore, I feel strong coming into Monday morning. Like I smashed that leg circuit this morning and in the rower, where usually I feel a bit weak of all the shagging I would do over the weekend. But this weekend, none of that job, and I feel alright, feel good.
Isn't there an old cliche that you're not meant to take part in that sort of activity during a build-up to a fight?
I think there is an old cliche, but like you said, that's what it is. It's an old cliche and housewife's tale. Doesn't do anything, I don't think, but it obviously does something because, look, I felt good this morning and I usually feel shit Monday morning.
But you feel alright?
I felt alright this morning, yeah.
You feel alright now?
But I've been told by head doctors that it doesn't really do any harm. It actually benefits you to ejaculate before fights, shall we say.
Okay. I'm not a fighter, so I'll take your word for that. I've noticed of recent weeks you've been banging on this Periscope thing. That's working alright for you?
Is it upsetting you?
Not really.
Taking money out of your pocket, isn't it?
It's not, but...
Look at all them interviews and good videos that I've done over the last week or so that you could have had.
We could have had. You can still give them to us, but some of them have been quite entertaining, to be honest, so... Yeah. You're getting into it, it's good.
Getting into it, you know. It's like giving the fans a 24/7 behind the scenes without Sky or without HBO, isn't it?
So you can pretty much say and do what you want, and
basically,
there's no one that can restrict you or tell you what to do.
Something like that.
We was to talk about over the weekend. Obviously, Anthony Joshua knocked Gary Cornish out. Yeah. Inside the round. Something you expected?
To be honest, it is what it was. It was a big heavyweight fight between two big lads, and one of them got caught early on. I'm not going to badmouth Gary Cornish, saying he's shit and useless like the rest of the world. You know, it's heavyweight boxing. He got caught. He was trying to win. In my opinion, he was better off trying to win like he did and getting knocked out in a round, than trying to get on his toes for a few rounds and getting stopped after 3 or 4 rounds, not trying. So Gary, well done, mate. You've done your best. There's no shame in losing to a better man. That's boxing. That's what I've got to say about that.
Obviously on the same night as well, Whyte fought Brian Minto and took him out in 3 rounds. Bit of an unorthodox ending, but still got the job done to set up their fight in December. Now, speaking to you earlier on, do you believe that Whyte will beat Anthony Joshua?
I believe he's a very, very good test for him. I believe it's a 50-50 fight, genuine 50-50. A lot of people are writing Dillian off because of the hype machine going around Joshua at the moment. I believe that Dillian's got more than an edge over Anthony Joshua at the minute. I think he's got a psychological edge. He's actually a hardcore kind of a fella, Dillian. He likes to fight, and he is a fighter. He's not just a boxer. He will, like I saw the press conference thing, and he probably would have got stuck into him there and then. It wasn't just blagging, he would have had a fight there and then. So I think that's got a lot to do with this fight as well. What goes on outside the ring. I think if he plays his cards right, he could have it 60-40 edge going in with the psychological stuff.
I mean, some people say, obviously, Joshua's 40-0 now. His previous opponents to date have sort of given him something to think about before he's got into the ring. It's kind of like they've already been beaten before they've got into the ring. Yeah. But this with Whyte, there's a personal underlines of something going on. He's already beat him in the amateurs, and there's obviously bad blood, call it what you want. There is a dislike there, so this could, like you said, play a psychological part leading into this fight.
I don't think amateurs has got anything to do with anything. They're winning the amateurs. I think it was his debut, Joshua's, and maybe it was Dillian's second fight or debut also. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Look, the kid I boxed last, Hammer, he won a gold medal in the World Juniors and I got a bronze. He beat the guy who beat me, basically. And look, it wasn't even a fight, was it? It was a sparring contest. So an amateur win don't mean anything. And the actual dislike, I don't think it's got anything to do with winning or losing the amateurs. The only thing that dislikes about them two is one's in a position where the other one wants to be. So he wants to get his position. Dillian wants to be where Joshua is right now, in the public eye. The hype machine going around him and all the talks about him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything like personal between them, like, oh, I'm going to get him outside or whatever. It's just strictly business, and Dillian wants what Joshua's got. So,
with both fighters, obviously, one's 16-0, one's 13-0. Could this fight have? Is it too early for this fight to happen?
I don't know. Not really. Look, me and Derek Chisora was both 14-0 when we fought for the British and Commonwealth titles. So they're probably going to do the same kind of thing. It doesn't hurt a fighter or loss. It's how he loses. Look, I beat Derek 2011 for the British and Commonwealth title. Then he went on and got a European title fight, world title fight, big fight with David A. He's had lots and lots of big chances. So a loss at this stage, as long as they don't get blooded in a round or whatever, if it's a decent fight, then they go on and they can keep building from there. It doesn't really mean a lot.
A lot of people obviously talk about the hype around Anthony Joshua is right now, compare it to the hype that was around David Price a few years ago, where David Price, in people's eyes, was the next best thing, and he was a dead cert to beat you as well, in many people's eyes. 2 defeats to Thompson, obviously he's had a recent defeat to Tepper. It's kind of changed people's perspective on David Price, but what for David Price do you think now?
Say that again, what?
What for David Price now?
What's he going to do now? You know, maybe the people were right. Maybe he could have beat me. Who knows? We'll never find out now, will we? Maybe they were right. Maybe he would have bladdered me like he'd done everybody else. The 2 losses to Thompson, I think it was just too early. It's like putting Joshua in now with me, or with him with like somebody in the top 3 or 4 in the world. Too early. They only had a handful of fights, and they've never been in a crisis situation. They've never been hit and hurt. That's what David Price hadn't been up until that time, in the pros anyway. He got rushed, and he lost. And then the first Thompson fight was the downfall of his career, basically, because he wasn't ready for the second one mentally. I think once you're mentally weak, and you've been told you're good, you're great, this, that, and then you have a loss like that, then your mind's shot to bits, and then you go in and get another loss to the same guy. You're mentally shagged. You've been bent over and stuck it up your onsen. And I don't think you recover, because the David Price of old would have beat Erkan Tepper. Tepper's a game, brave lad, but he shouldn't have been no match for David Price, to be honest. He's nothing more than a guard up, come forward European, get stuck in type of a brawler, and someone with his size and ability should be able to outbox that and knock him out. But I think the Thompson losses smashed him, like I said, done his head in, and he hasn't recovered from that. So therefore, I don't think he can go on and do anything else. He's done, he's got where he's got, he's made his money, and good luck to him. I don't think he should box anymore because he's not got the mindset for it.
The greatest heavyweights in the world have lost, come back, rebuilt, etc., etc. Do you have a fear of getting beat? You're unbeaten as a professional. Do you have a fear of getting beat? Does that worry you? Or?
Not really. We'll find out October 24th, won't we? It is what it is, isn't it? If you lose to a better man, you lose to a better man. My outlook on life is totally different to the normal person's. I look at things if I'll win, then I'll win. If I'll lose, then I'll lose. No big scene, no big scenario. I'm not going to go and cry about it. I won't go in, my confidence ain't going to go or nothing. It's the way people are built, isn't it? It's what they're made of inside. It's, listen, everybody loses fights. The greats lose, they come back, whatever. But it's how you lose. It's not losing the fight. It's how you lose and then what you do from there. And it's how much you want it as well. You've got to, the fact of wanting to be something for yourself more than for other people has a lot to play in sports and in anything. And if you are doing something because you can make money out of it or you can do something like that and you don't really want to do it deep down and then you lose, it's a good excuse for you to just pack it in, isn't it? And that's what happens with a lot of them. Like, you could compare David Price to Vladimir Klitschko, really, because Vlad got knocked out 3 times, like proper done in. But he didn't turn his back on fighters, and he didn't his mind wasn't shagged. He got beat, knocked out, and he went down and he couldn't get up. Where on David Price's thing, he didn't want it type of thing. He'd gone in a shell, and you can't recover from that. Going on back onto me, that ain't never going to happen, because when I fight with a passion, I fight with a burning desire, and if I get knocked out or dropped or whatever, then so be it. I can't do any better than my best. As long as I know I've gone in there and fought the best of my ability every single time, then there's no excuses, there's no hard feelings. I've lost to a better man if I lose to somebody, you know what I'm saying? So I would never be in that situation, actually. I hope I explained that as best as I could with my uneducated way of speaking.
I think it's more educated than you give yourself credit for. Is there too much emphasis on a fighter remaining undefeated? Deontay Wilder got to a world title shot, won a world title, but only going 4 rounds in 30 odd fights.
Yeah.
Went the distance, but won the world title. But is it the appeal of an unbeaten fighter, or what is it? Too much emphasis on it, in your opinion?
I have no idea. It doesn't really bother. It's not really an interest of mine, to be honest. You win some, you lose some. No matter how good you are, there's always someone better coming around the corner, providing that you fight that person. Now, Deontay Wilder fought a load of dummies up until he fought Stavern, and he got the world title, which was good management, a lot of money invested in him, and he done well. And he's doing well at the moment. You know, it's not how undefeated you stay, it's the opponents you face throughout your career. It's if you fight good men in your time. Anyone can build up a big record. You could look. In my second fight, I fought a guy who was 21-1 with 20 knockouts, but I had 1 pro fight and still knocked him out. It's just a hype built-up shit record, fighting dummies. It's like there's levels. Just go back onto Gary Cornish. He had 21-0, but he'd never fought anybody of any use, and it didn't benefit him because he got in there with someone who could fight back, and look what happened to him. Maybe if he'd have had harder fights coming up, then he could have done a bit better than he done. But considering he just blowed away journeymen and dummies and bums, then he didn't do very well. And this is what happens with heavyweights these days. They want to get to 20, 30, 40-0, whatever it is. They're trying to beat Rocky Marciano's record. And just on the way down here this morning, me and my dad was talking about this. The 49-0 beating that. That only goes for heavyweights, who's at championship level. It doesn't go for people who's like lightweights and whatever people. It just goes for heavyweights at championship level. And that record has been beat, by the way, by a Dutchman, a fat Dutchman, heavyweight. He got to 51-0. His name has slipped my mind completely. He lost to Mike Tyson, a fat white guy. Brian Nielsen. Brian Nielsen from Denmark got to 51-0 before he lost heavyweight. And then he lost one, and then he went on again, and he's probably about 58-2 or 70-2 or something at the moment. So it's just at championship level. But yeah, the undefeated records doesn't really mean anything. It's who you fight. Anyone can stay undefeated if they fight bums. It's if they fight good men and stay unbeaten.
What's more important for you to finish your career whenever that finishes? Is it the money that you've got in the bank, or is it how you're remembered as a fighter, what you've won at whatever level? What's at the top of that for you?
There's nothing. There isn't nothing. After boxing, for me, there's nothing. During boxing, for me, there's nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
There is. It's just emptiness, isn't it? Look, what does a belt mean? What does a championship mean? Right. We just went over all this morning again, me and my dad. I've won already seven titles, belts, whatever. Number 1 in Britain, Europe, Commonwealth, whatever. Number 1 in the world, mandatory. What does it all mean? It means nothing. All right. After this fight, I'll be very well to do. But what does it all mean? Because we can only. I'll still be dressed like this, a tramp, with a pair of trainers on and a tracksuit, and I'm still going to jump in that car outside and go to whatever I'm going to do. So it doesn't really mean anything. And as to be remembered as a fighter, fuck remembering fighters. It's about activity. It's about now. Remembering fighters is people can sit here and remember them, and they're just memories, aren't they? It's about doing it now, living that dream today. And all the people who's been champions and done their best in their career from the past, they have lived that time today. But now, they're only has-beens. I know that sounds a bad word to say, has-beens, but they only are. Look at all the great champions from the past, they're only has-beens, aren't they? And I think all great sportsmen from the past envy current people. So again, the answer to that question, what keeps me going, what drives me, what am I aiming for? I ain't aiming to be a great champion, I ain't aiming to be a millionaire, I ain't aiming to be remembered, I ain't aiming for nothing. Just living day by day, taking it one day at a time, really. I'm living to die, basically. I'm aiming for the coffin, where we're all going, buried. I'm aiming to be putting, I don't know, aiming for the coffin, yeah, that's it. So we're all gonna die sooner or later, so it's what we do while we're here. And I'm doing boxing, you're doing interviewing, Peter's a trainer. You know, it is what it is. Everyone's got their own job in life, haven't they? And I'm doing my job, that's it. I'm living day to day, eating, surviving, that's it. Look forward to the weekend, going home, seeing the wife and kids, and I can't wait to get back into training camp. So my whole life should be a training camp, really. Because when I'm out of it, I'm depressed. I don't feel good, I feel like shit. So it is what it is. Nothing drives me, nothing. I ain't interested in titles, I ain't interested in money, I ain't interested in business, I ain't interested in property. I think it would drive me, being stress-free. Being able to just do what I want, like, and not be bothered about jumping in a flash car or going to a flash restaurant or what people think of me or high society people. I'm not interested in it. I know that sounds daft because why would I be boxing? Why am I here today? But I've been saying it for a long time, I just really ain't interested. I go in there and it's something that I love to do, I love to fight. I love being involved in the gym, I love training and that while I'm doing it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, isn't it? At the end of the day, I'll be another bare bum in the shower after it's all finished. And there'll be somebody else, another 50 million people coming through in the world. And you're just a memory at the end of the day.
So where does the financial side come into it for you?
Listen, if I wanted to retire now, I could. It is what it is. Money, the motivation ain't money for me. Not interested. Listen, if I want to go and get a burger, I can go and get a burger. Whatever I want to do, I can do. I used to think it was about becoming successful, but what is success? Success is being happy and being contented and being happy with your environment and the people around you. I think that's success. Success ain't driving a flash car, living in a big house or wearing some £1,000 shoes. That ain't success. Success is being happy and doing the right things for what makes you happy. That's it.
But going back to the money aspects, surely you want to secure your future, your kids' future, your what?
We just had this conversation yesterday. We have deep conversations lots of times in this team. Oh, every man/woman has to carry their own cross in life. Look, even Jesus Christ carried his own cross. Yeah, no one's going to help you. At the end of the day, you've got to carry your own cross. And to give people things, it doesn't work. Every man has to work for his own living. So securing kids' futures. What am I going to do? Work my cunt out to provide a load of money for the kids or whatever. And then when I die, they go and spunk all at the wall and they're in a worse state than when they started. You give something to someone, they never appreciate it. Every man and woman has to work for what they want in life. And that's a true saying. You can ask a lot of these multi-millionaires about their sons, and they're all failures, 90% of them. Or they've all been given what they've been given. Not many of them have come off rich backgrounds and have gone on and earned their own and done their own thing in life. They've all been living off other people. And it's no one appreciates it, really.
So you would rather your children do their own thing,
Definitely.
earn their own money,
Definitely.
and work for themselves, and not off the back of you, basically?
Definitely. I think every woman and man has to do their own thing in life. Get on, get forward, and do what they've got to do to survive. Whether it's fight, whatever, go out walking, go coursing, cooking head jogs, whatever you want to do in life, whatever tickles your fancy from A to Z, then you could do that. Because there's no limits, is there? Especially in this country where we live and where we've been brought up and where we've been born. There's no limits. You can go to school, you can work hard, you can do what you want. There's no limits on where you can go in life, if you want it. If you want to work hard enough, and if you want to dedicate your life, and if you don't want to go out drinking and shagging and taking drugs and doing the stupid things that the kids do today. I'm living proof. I didn't do all that shit. When all of my friends was out taking drugs, getting drunk and going out clubbing, where was I? In the gym, from fucking first one in and last one out till 10 at night. Look where I am today, look where everybody else is. On top of the fucking world, that's where I am. Number one, mandatory. And what's it through? Hard work, dedication, don't take drugs. Stay out of trouble. Clean record. I drink now and again, but I don't get in trouble when I do it. So if you're a drinker and you like fighting when you get drunk, the answer to that is don't do it, isn't it? And there you go. Anything else you can think of while we're on the subject?
Yeah. How bothered are you about what people think of you within boxing circles?
Oh, I'm really bothered.
No, seriously.
I'm really bothered. Why you ask me that, Coogan, when you know I don't give a fuck what people think?
No, but I know you say you don't give a... But surely when you go home...
Can you not swear, you? Have you gone all...
I'm trying not to. Alright, I'll say it then. I know you've said to me in past interviews before, you couldn't give a fuck what people say about you, right?
I couldn't.
But that's what you say to me. When you go home and you're with your family and you're, say, on your Twitter and you get people calling you a cunt or whatever they call you and things like this, and you're getting knocked out by that, what, you take no notice of that whatsoever? That
doesn't mean as much as that shoe means to me. Fuck all. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I'm doing. I don't let that get to me. Why would I be interested in what people think?
I'm not saying gets to you, but, you know.
I really don't care. Listen, at the end of the day, I know where I am and I know where I am on my level. I'm a big gypsy. And I'm born and bred in the UK. And I'll still be a dirty gypsy bastard until I die, won't I? So it is what it is. The perception on gypsies is bad. So I'm not expecting to be a big fan favourite, sell 1 million tickets and everybody love me, you know. I'm the wrong person for that, but listen, I don't care anyway. As long as I can go home and have a dinner and a sandwich and a cup of tea, I really don't care.
But you are appreciative of the support you have and the people that do back you. And,
listen,
you know,
I fight and I entertain people, and if they like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. Simple. I'm in this gym sweating my bollocks off every day, killing myself. Where are they? They're at work doing what they're doing, calling me names on Twitter or whatever. You know, it doesn't mean anything to me. The fans out there, I've got loads of fans. I'm not just hated, I am liked as well. You know, it's a love-hate relationship with me. Some people love me, some people hate me. And I've got people who's been there from the beginning. Lots of fans who's been from the beginning and stayed on right through. But there is a lot of Arse-Lickers come on board recently. And if I could get my balls out and stick them in the mouth, they'd probably suck them as well. Because what happens is everybody loves a winner. And everybody loves to, like we was talking about, success. They see a nice car, they see someone doing well, they think, ooh, that's success. I want that shit, so I'll jump on board with that. And there's a lot of that. So they're not real people, are they? They're not real fans. The only real fans I've got is the people that's been there from day one. And everybody, you know who you are. From the beginning, you've been there, supported me, all the way through, and everybody who knows who they are, they know it. And all the Arse-Lickers, they know it, and all the hangers-on, they know it as well. So I don't need to mention names. Everybody knows who they are and what they are. I've got fans out there who've supported me from day dot. They don't want anything off me. They don't want to be famous. They don't want to be around me, blah, blah, blah. They just support me because they like my style, they like my attitude, they like the way I do boxing, basically. And then there's people who want to be around you because you're famous, and they want to be seen to be liking you because it might be an in trend at the minute or something, you know what I mean? People are like sheep, aren't they? They can be controlled by what other people's opinions are. And I don't think that's a real person, mate. Not at all. You got something to say it. If you haven't, fuck off, basically.
I had this discussion yesterday, actually, about this winning fighter mentality in reference to the people that go and watch them, that pay to watch them, etc., etc. And I was talking about Anthony Joshua, because I saw the other day that there is a massive sort of buzz, a hype around him. Listen, I hope Anthony Joshua goes on to win world titles, etc.
So do I.
Same as any other fighter. If he gets beat, where are those people there?
Well, they're all gone, aren't they? You know, he's back to being where he started. They're all gone. You're only as good as your last fight, aren't you? Look, Ricky Hatton was a superstar in this country, wasn't he? He was the first British fighter in recent times to beat a super champion, right? Because when he beat Costa Tszyu was a super champion, just like Vladimir is now. There hasn't been another British fighter to do that. Can you name one who's beat a super champion? At his time when he was reigning good.
Not a fan, no.
Well, I can't, and I know a lot of I know world champions now from this country, and they fought for vacant titles, or they fight in menus had one defence of it or whatever. I've been a champion 2-3 times. They're not fighting super champions, right? Ricky Hatton beat a super champion, yeah. He gets knocked out by Mayweather, the best pound for pound fighter in the world, which is a lot of bollocks, because if I could fly faster than a jumbo jet. It's just like saying that pound for pound is as good as that. So it doesn't mean anything. But he fought one of the best fighters in the world, and again lost to Pacquiao, another one of the best fighters in the world. Then all of a sudden he became shit. All them fans didn't like him anymore. He's a drunk, he's this, he's that, he's fat, he's whatever. So he's a living proof of example. You're only as good as your last fight. And like I said, everybody loves a winner, nobody loves a loser. And as long as you're on top of your game, as long as you keep winning and being and doing and entertaining people, then that's okay. But as soon as you have a bad day at the office, you're just another bare bum in the shower. You're just a bastard, a cunt, a prick. You're useless, you're shit. You never was any good. And I had this the other day. If Ricky Hatton didn't drink, he probably could have beat Mayweather. Now, I would say if Ricky Hatton drunk 10 times more than he already did and took 100,000 drugs, he couldn't have done any better than he already did, because that was his destiny, that was his time. That's what was supposed to happen. He'd done his best. He couldn't have done any better if he'd have come in with a 30-pack and been in shape all the time. It had nothing to do with it. It's about levels. And he wasn't on that level. But yeah, just like David Price, the full of Liverpool was behind David Price and the full country as well. We had a big white heavyweight from this country who was a smasher, knocking everybody out. Now he's been beaten. Where is he now? Where's all them fans? David Price is a plumber. He's a this, he's that. Just copying me what I said from day dot. You know, all them fans have died off, haven't they? I don't hear many fans going on. I couldn't walk down the street. I was having every colour, creed and generation come up to me. When am I going to fight David Price? When am I going to fight David Price? Now, nobody even mentions David Price. Because like I said before, he's just another bare bum in the shower now. And it doesn't really mean anything. Past timing. Time heals everything, doesn't it? As time goes along, people get forgotten. And they're just memories, lapsed memories in people's minds.
So, since your fight with Vladimir Klitschko was announced, have you noticed personally a change in people's perception towards you?
Yes.
And they're more on you, and they more want to be around you, and whatever you want to say.
I have, yeah, because before this fight was announced, I could go on Twitter and 7 out of 10 comments were bad, and now it's the other way around. 7 out of 10 comments are good. And I'm really going to do it, and I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to bring them titles back to the UK and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, if, God forbid, I got chinned in 10 seconds, what would it be then? Shit. Never was any good. He was the worstest boxer ever. I had one man say to me the other day, prepare your shame for when Vladimir knocks you out. But how would it be shameful if I got knocked out by a man? It's obviously, he's a better man. There's no shame in losing to a better man, is there? There'd be shame in not getting up if I could get up, or turning me back when I could fight on, or not wanting to be in there. That's a shame. But shame losing to somebody who's better than you or who's beat you, fair and square, there's no shame in that, is there? Just like there was no shame in Gary Cornish getting knocked out the other night. You know, he tried his best, he wasn't good enough. So people can be daft sometimes, and I really don't care what people think. I'm in this gym training, I'm going to do the best I can. Win, lose or draw, I'll definitely put up a good fight. And listen, I think I'll win. And we'll see, won't we? Listen, what is the worst that can happen? I can go in there and get knocked clean out, carry me out on a stretcher. Wow, so what? And when you've got an attitude like that, you're an hard fucker to deal with. Because I don't value Vladimir Klitschko. I don't value his power. I don't value his jab 1-2, left up, grab all bollocks. I don't value his achievements. To me, he's another bare bum in the shower, another man, blood and snot running through his veins and body. And listen, if I'm any good, I'll do it, and if I'm no good, I'll lose. Simple. No hard feelings, no crying about it, whatever. If I win, I'll win. If I lose, I'll lose. If I win, I'm what? If I lose, I'm what? What have I really done? beat another man that I've already done 24 times in a row anyway, and he's done 60 times. What does it really mean at the end of the day? We're both going to go home to our families, aren't we, and hold our kids. God willing, we both live and survive after the fight. Then what does it really mean? He goes home with a belt or I go home with it. Whoopie-doo, Basil. He gets a bit more money and I get a bit more money. Hey! What does it mean? What am I going to do? Am I going to go and change the way I am? What am I going to do? Am I going to start being different? Am I going to stop swearing? Am I going to be able to spell? Am I going to become the world's greatest fighter? Am I going to let all these blowjob givers come and blow me off, or am I going to kick them in the balls? What do you think? Because when I beat Klitschko, there's going to be every man and his dog want to blow me off, and you're not going to say, get fucked, get fucked, get fucked. You know? They didn't like me before, and now they want to blow me off. They can go and fuck off. You know, it is what it is. I say as I think, I do what I want to do. But I ain't going to change. Win, lose or draw, I'm still going to be an uneducated, dirty fucking gypsy bastard. And that'll never change until the day I die. So I'm what? What does it all mean? Doesn't mean anything. Does it really? What does it mean? You could call me now 1,000 names before I chin you, yeah? And that's it. What's it going to mean? At the end of the day, you've called me some names, you've been chinned, and I've gone out the gym. Right? These people who say bad things, do you think they're going to say it to my face? Do you think they're going to come up to me and say, you prick, this, that, whatever? Am I going to be on a high status and say, oh, right, I won't say anything to you because I'm on a pedestal? Maybe not, we'll see. Try it and find out. That's what I got to say.
I've seen you quoted as saying that if you lose to Vladimir Klitschko, that you will retire from boxing. Have you said this?
Yes, I did say that. I've said it on about 100 occasions.
Right, okay. So you stick by that. If, touch wood you don't, if you lose on the 24th of October, that's it for you for boxing, is that what you're saying?
Listen, you never can tell. You never can tell.
But your mentality right now is that's what we will do.
Listen, if I can't beat him, then I'm going anywhere, am I? I don't want to be another fucking idiot trying to win a title. On and on and on. Losing. What is the point? If I can't beat this man, what is the point in me boxing? You tell me that. I ain't fighting a 25-year-old spring chicken, am I? I'm fighting a man who's 40 at the end of his career, basically. He's a great champion, yada, yada, yada. So what? If I can't beat him, I can't beat him. I won't be boxing on anymore. Simple. Not unless I get offered a lot of money to try and box somebody else. Then I will be doing it. You know, it is what it is.
We're about 6 weeks away from the fight.
Yeah.
Under 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks Saturday, I believe. Yeah. Klitschko comes into the country next week, I believe.
Does it?
Yes, it is next week, I think. For his media obligations to the UK press and also Sky, etc. So you were in fine form in Dusseldorf. Can we expect more of that next week?
More than likely, I'd say. You know, Vlad and any rest of the world boxers who think they can talk a bit, they can't really talk, can they? Because we've been chatting here now for an hour, rambling on about bollocks, and I still ain't run out of things to say, and I'm freestyling. Yeah? Klitschko was all pre-rehearsed in Dusseldorf because he said the same shit about David A. I'm going to be a psychologist. You're going to be a better person after this fight. You listen to the 2 press conferences. Same bollocks. He done the same thing twice. So when you start doing all that, it's like me coming out now and saying, oh, can I sponsor your boots and all that stuff like I've done with Steve Cunningham and whatever. I'm not going to say the same things twice. But he did. He done the same thing for Hay at that conference, and he done the same thing with me in Dusseldorf. But look, when it comes down to it, they're not talkers, are they? But at the end of the day, it's not a talking competition, is it? Because if it was, I'd be a super champion. And I'm not. Not even a champion at the minute. Nothing.
Okay.
You've seen all the talkers in the past, didn't you? What about David A? He was a bit of a talker, wasn't he, until he met me? Then he had to shut his mouth because they knew shit. It was all fake. And then you saw Klitschko, he's a bit of a talker. He talks all these press conferences up. But then he couldn't say shit neither. And Wilder will be the same. When we have a press conference, everyone expect Wilder to do something. And talk and talk and talk. And bring it all up. But he'll just get hammered into submission as well, like the rest of them. You know, Kevin Johnson talked a lot, didn't he? But he got hammered in the press conference with me and him. So it was any one of them. If it's a talking competition, I'll win. Trash talking, I'll win. No bother.
But more importantly, what happens on the 24th is obviously what's on your mind currently.
Listen, what happens on the 24th happens. It's God's will, destiny, planned out already. I can't do any more than I'm doing, training, eating, sleeping, doing the right things. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. Simple. If I live, I live. If I die, I die. And what? People are dying all the time, you know. People are popping off left, right and centre. So it's only a matter of time before we all pop off. You'll pop off before me, though.
Have you locked that gym door? Have you seen that thing on the internet? I don't know if you've seen it. It's the population of the world.
Yeah,
have you seen it?
I think Peter told me about it the other day. We're losing 20%, aren't we, soon?
And it's got the people being born, the number rising, the people dying, the number going down, and it's constantly obviously changing, but I don't know how accurate that is, but it's probably true.
Yeah, there's people being born all the time, there's people dying all the time. So it's just numbers, isn't it? Playing a numbers game. It'll all be worth it though when we die, because if there's another place after this, it must be better than this shit. And if there's not, well, it was all a big con, a load of shit.
Obviously, over the last however many months, years, or whatever, you've made no secret of the fact that not taken to God, but you have let it known to the media, the public, that you are sort of going that way. How's that helped you?
How's it helped me?
Yeah.
What, with boxing?
With your boxing and your life?
It is what it is, isn't it? You know, I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world, because I'll talk about God one minute and then swear my head off the next minute. But I don't believe that's the way forward anyway. I don't believe trying to pretend that you're something. If you're a good person inside, you're a good person. All right, I swear a lot, but I'm a good person inside. So are you better not to swear and be a horrible prick inside and then talk about God? Or are you better to do a bit of swearing and be actually a nice person inside and try and tell people to do right from wrong? Which one's the better way, really? I'd say my way is. Because if you're sly inside, then you can't fool anybody. You're not fooling God, are you? 9 out of 10 people will know you're a sly cunt inside anyway. I say what I say, and that's it. I don't hate anybody. I don't talk about people. I'm not really interested. I don't have any enemies. Whatever people say or do doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm not really interested. It is what it is. When I get involved in God, my life goes happy and I feel better. When I drift away from God, my life turns into turmoil and it all becomes a load of crap. So I'd say God for me is a saviour. Well, he obviously is, but it's something that I've always done from being a kid. Not just took it up recently. Something I've always been involved in, been around. And it seemed to be whenever I have massive terms off away from going to the church or reading the Bible or talking about God, then my life turns upside down and I do bad things. Well, not bad things. I've never done anything bad. I've done nothing bad at all, really. It's all white sort of stuff. And it is what it is. But I believe when you're doing bits and pieces and reading and talking to people about it, and you feel better anyway. Better to have a belief in something that you go into a better place and that you can be glorified and you can be treated better than to just think we're going to sit here and die and then that's it. Because there'd be no point, would there? What would be the point in living this life just to switch the clock off and then that's it? I know there's another place anyway. I don't believe it, I know it. I don't have to believe or convince people. Like I said, every man's got to bear his own cross in life, so it's I know there's another place, and whether I get there or not's a different thing, because I believe the odds are 1,000 to 1 in going to heaven or not. So it's not very, if I'm a betting man, I wouldn't be betting on the 1,000 to 1 underdog, because 1,000 times out of 1,000 nearly, it's going to lose, isn't it? So there we have it.
Okay. The reason I really didn't want to swear in this interview, because I know your dad hates swearing, and I just was aware that he was behind us.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like you swearing either.
No, doesn't.
He's just sitting there. But anyway, it's too late for that there anyway. So, listen, Tyson, unless you've got anything else you want to add or get off your chest, thank you very much for your time. Have you got anything else you want to say?
I think we've covered A to Z there, haven't we?
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to go home and I hope I've got something nice for lunch, because I've been dreaming about food all night. Okay. Starving.
You know I'm going to be with you the whole day.
Are you?
Is that right?
Cheap to your life then, isn't it? Come on, let's go.
Right, this is Kugan Cassius with Tyson Fury here for IFL TV. Thank you very much for watching. Tyson, sign us out. Say whatever you want. Just
I can't. I've just forgot all my words. You know, I'll have to script it out later and say something again. Listen, he's going to be doing more videos, and see you in a bit. Peace out. Get fucked.